Hello again and welcome to this week's Leadership in Action from the 80/20 CEO. I'm your host, Nick Patty. Today's was an interesting conversation with Mike Sylver, the CEO of a soon-to-be billion-dollar firm that is actually a startup and the sixth fastest-growing Inc. 500 company of 2008. Over two separate conversations I tried, but I could not get past a single basic reason for Mike's success. He's figured out a way to sell what the market desperately needs. And that is pretty much it. An incredible success, I must have. Well, actually, there is a little bit more. He's very good at managing public relations, the under-tapped free marketing method. He's an astute marketer, though he presents himself differently. His marketing strategy is clever, specific, and well-rehearsed. There's little evidence of marketing and sales pitch in his entire spiel. Yet he can say it in his sleep, unlike many sales professionals that I know. He does spend money on marketing and sales, but it does not appear that way. And though this is a B2C play, he's taking the B2B route with the channel partners and channel influencers. Can he accelerate the market adoption? Perhaps. Is that the right strategy? I do not know. But I'm just happy that I talked to him because now I'm a rather delighted and a loyal customer of his products. Please view this and enjoy. So I wanted to begin with asking you, just like sugar. Well, that is an incredible name of a company. And for most people, it would be a little bit confusing because they would think, well, this is a sugar substitute. So how does this name differentiate from, the Splenda or the Equal and so on and so forth? Why did you choose this name?
Well, just like sugar is, in fact, just like sugar, where you have the other products, such as the white, which is sugar, the blue, the pink, and the yellow, which are chemical. See, it all started with a group of doctors that have a worldwide program called Mission Possible. And their quest, or MO, is to remove all the artificial sweeteners from the world. So, but they were faced with, there's Dr. Betty Martini involved, Dr. Russell Blaylock, Dr. Walton, Dr. Roberts, and so many more world-famous, world-renowned doctors. Well, if they're telling everybody all over the world with Mission Possible, which is a complete volunteer organization, don't use the white, don't use the yellow, don't use the green, don't use the blue, or not the green. The dilemma was, what do we use? They did not have an answer.
And when you say white, you mean sugar itself?
Sugar itself.
So you're saying don't use sugar or any existing substitutes of sugar at this point?
That is correct. On our website, which is www.justlikesugarinc.com, you can read what's called 78 reasons not to eat sugar. And it gives you the clinical studies of each one of those 78 reasons. So, but getting back to Dr. Betty Martini, I received a phone call from Dr. Betty Martini. We go back a long time from our days of growing herbs in the Amazon rainforest and selling it to pharmaceutical companies to make medicines. Well, Betty called me up, and she said to me, this is a quote, she says, Mike, can you develop us a sweetener that tastes like sugar, cooks like sugar, bakes like sugar, sauces like sugar, browns like sugar, has the same brick as sugar, with no calories, no cholesterol, no carbohydrates, no fat, won't promote fermentation, gluten-free, wheat-free, soy-free, glycemic level of 0, triglyceride level of 0. The more you eat, the healthier you get. The more you eat, the greatly reduced risk of colon cancer, rectal cancer, and all abdominal cancers. The more magnesium absorption into the body due to the chicory, the calcium, and the vitamin C. The more weight you lose, your skin gets soft, and your wrinkles go away.
Wow, that is amazing.
And I said, sure.
All right. And why were you so confident of the sure, by the way?
Well, I have a vast background in phytofood chemistry and biochemistry. I was taught for 8 years by one of the greatest biochemists in the world, Dr. Domingos Uricchio. And the knowledge that I have of different foods and things like that brought me to pick ingredients that are only healthy for you.
Now, I like the idea. The question was awesome that was put up in front of you to develop this product. Now, why should we believe that indeed you were able to develop that product?
That I developed the product?
Right, that the company that you're selling does actually answer that question.
Okay, we manufacture the product just like Sugar Incorporated manufactures the product just like sugar. We grow our own raw materials on our plantations, and then we make the product just like sugar. But not just one product. We have our standard canister, which is our tabletop sweetener. We have our little packets like you see in the restaurants. We have a retail box of packets, 100 in a box. We have our brown sugar. We have our specific baking product, which is when you're using flour. This was primarily made for bakers because it measures the sugar by weight, not by volume. We have our 1 pound bag of our box of our tabletop, which is our standard everyday sweetener. Then we have our line of candies, our jelly beans, cinnamon hearts, after dinner mints, and lemon drops. Now we're
Awesome.
also
This is great. Are there any studies or any other third parties that are verifying that this indeed, besides the good taste, actually also doesn't have any of those drawbacks that you'd mentioned?
As a matter of fact, Dr. Russell Blaylock, one of the world's leading neurosurgeons, after we told Dr. Martini that we've developed just like sugar, he had it tested. He had it tested for all the negatives that are in the artificial sweeteners. He used Enresco testing laboratory, which is one of the oldest FDA-approved testing laboratories in the United States. And the test that he asked for was for neurotoxins, was for L-ditamic, deutamic, and aspartic acid. After the test results was done, then they came back all negative. Then Dr. Russell Blaylock endorsed Just Like Sugar in his newsletters, the Blaylock Wellness Report.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And on our website, under the testimonials, you can actually read Dr. Blaylock's 3 newsletters, also the Enresco reports on the product, the test results, the FDA-approved testing laboratory test results. Because in the product, there is just chicory root dietary fiber, calcium, vitamin C, and the sweetness from the peel of the orange. Nothing else in it.
And I sound like right now as if I'm doing a paid commercial for you in this video, but truthfully it's not. It's about you as a CEO that we'll get into in the later part of the conversation, but what you're saying is so powerful and so valuable from having also talked to you earlier on this issue that I think it makes perfect sense for people to hear and know about this, and people will be interested to hear and know about this within this video, I hope. So that is wonderful. Now, I wanted to ask you some questions relating to your company's growth, relating to the success factors, and relating to what might be some of the things that you may not be doing now, but you could be doing to increase the adoption rate significantly. That was the purpose of the interview for me. So I clearly see that one single factor that is responsible for your company being the 6th fastest growing company by the Inc. 100?
Yes.
So one of the things clearly is that, hey, the product sells itself. It is so incredibly powerful that it sells itself because, there was nothing else like this, and people are clamoring to find a product within this niche. It's not even a niche within this space. And so I can understand that it is successful by its own right. Now, have you done any marketing? Have you spent marketing money or marketing effort to go from, I guess, within 3 years from 0 to 350 or more? I don't know what the numbers are right now. Millions of dollars?
Our advertising budget is zero. We do not have an advertising budget. We don't need an advertising budget. Every single one of our customers has come to us. Every one of our 93 distributors around the world. Every one of our stores. Matter of fact, when Dr. Betty Martini first announced that Just Like Sugar was available, our first customer was Whole Foods Market, Florida region, which came to us. Said, we have to have your product. It's the true Cinderella story. We don't have millions of dollars in advertising, but the word is getting out. And with our new product coming out that is going to save the health of our children. Did you know that in this country and other countries, there is an epidemic of adult onset diabetes, obesity, heart disease, even stroke in 12-year-old children and up and down? It is an epidemic. The ADD, ADHD, autism is running rampant because of sugar. So what we have to do, someone had to step up to the plate and had to change things. And we've done that. Because just think, if we continue on this trend as we are now, when these children who can't learn and are getting sicker and sicker and more obese become in 25, 30 years the leaders of this world, what kind of world will it be in? So we've done something very special, very, very special, and we are going to take our newest product, Fiber Up, which is the only true fiber water in the world, and put it in every vending machine in every school in the civilized world. This product has 7 grams of fiber, calcium, vitamin C, comes in 12 flavors. The kids absolutely love it. But the unique thing about Fiber Up, there is no preservatives in this product. When it comes out of the machine, all the powder is in the cap. You push the button, you shake it up, it turns color. The kids absolutely love it. And we did test marketing from kids from 3 years old to 98 years old, and everybody loved it. So, yeah, it is going to be totally, totally unique. And then we're going to bring that around with our other products, our herbal products, our antioxidant, our detox drink, our immune system drink, our energy drink. Now, this energy drink has no caffeine in it like some of the other ones, but increases the blood oxygen circulation into the blood, which gives you more energy. Our memory drink and our aphrodisiac drink. These
Now,
will be out.
do these products include other chemicals, or are these also all natural?
All natural. There is no chemicals in any of our products.
And so when you say that, Just Like Sugar is based on a certain natural ingredient, is the same natural ingredient responsible for, say, for example, the memory drink, or have you figured out some other ingredients that work here?
No, the memory drink is using Amazon herbs from the Amazon jungle that we grow on the plantation. Clinically proven herbs for all of those things, for memory, for detox, for the immune system. And
so here's my key question, or rather an observation. There's this book that was written called the Blue Ocean, Red Ocean Strategy. Fundamentally, it's basically saying something that's been said for for a lot of years and by many different people in different languages. But fundamentally, it says differentiate yourself. There's no point competing in a marketplace where there's a lot of competition. You will drive yourself towards the pricing game.
Instead, differentiate your products, and you can differentiate at multiple levels. But fundamentally, when they say blue ocean, they're saying go into that pristine territory where nobody else is, because you've got something to make, sell, provide that is so incredibly different, so incredibly valuable, that you are initially the only one doing it. And thereby you don't have to worry about your revenue and your profitability, because it will automatically be caught up. And this is a prime example as I see it, because also not because of what you're saying, but because clearly you have been very successful, and specifically without any marketing spending. So my question to you is, if that's the case, it is neither serendipitous that you've come across this product, nor is it too late. How come, therefore, nobody else did this before? I'm sure they tried.
Oh, yes. And they've tried the Japanese, the Chinese, the Canadians have all tried to copy Just Like Sugar. As a matter of fact, in our office was the president of NutraSweet. And I said to Norm, who, by the way, is retired, now wants to work for us as a consultant, is, Norm, do me a favor. Take this chicory root, take this rock, take this orange, take it to the best Monsanto laboratory that you have, and make this product. Guess what? They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. Monsanto couldn't do it. It cannot be done. It cannot be reproduced. Because we started in 2003. You got 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7 years. If someone was going to copy Just Like Sugar and come out with a duplicate product, they would have done so by now. But it can't be done.
And so did you discover it by accident, which you've just said no, you actually went and looked for it. So how easy or difficult was it to find a product that really is so differentiated?
Well, it's the knowledge that I've learned from my teachings under Dr. Domingos Laricchio and my knowledge of different foods. First of all, I had to pick only foods that were already what's called FDA GRAS approved, what's generally recognized as safe. That means they've been used in commerce prior to 1958. So all of the ingredients in Just Like Sugar are not adulterated and are already FDA approved. So that's what we had to find out. I had to pick products that would do what Dr. Martini wanted it to do and be sweet and be healthy. That's the main thing, because the more Just Like Sugar you eat, the healthier you get. And you cannot eat too much Just Like Sugar. You can never get enough fiber, and it is 96% fiber.
Now, that's amazing. Now, to the next question. You don't spend any money on marketing, but you are obviously doing well financially, at least in terms of revenue. Do you foresee yourself spending money on marketing to accelerate the adoption of this product?
Well, we have, see, that's where Dr. Martini comes in and all those doctors, because now that they do have a safe alternative to the artificials and even sugar, they are telling millions and millions of people all around the world about Just Like Sugar. On our website, which is, like I said earlier, www.justlikesugerinc.com, people can request samples. Since we started asking or allowing people to request samples about 11 months ago, our counter went from about 460,000 people to over close to 17 million. So we get thousands and thousands of sample requests daily.
And you're able to fulfill those requests?
We do our best. We do our best. We have a little thing on our website that says it takes 6 to 12 weeks to get your sample. And if you want to buy Just Like Sugar or go to a store and are not completely 100% satisfied, send it back for a full refund. We have sold millions of containers, and we have never had anyone ask for a refund on our canister.
Okay, so you're obviously spending money on these samples because you send out how many thousands of samples a day, then that incurs your overheads
Right.
as well as cost of shipping.
That's correct. It's 42 cents plus 2 packets plus envelope and little information paper.
Yeah, and the people involved in doing so.
Right, exactly. So there
So-
is the.
So that is your cost of marketing so far, in terms of sample, and then you do some PR activities. You've got a website. Are you also starting into some kind of other blogging or Web 2.0 approaches to promoting your product, or are you intending to do so?
Well, what happened? We got called by William Shatner from Heartbeat of America. He hosts a show called Heartbeat of America. Was so intrigued about Just Like Sugar and the product and how it was just taking over everywhere. He asked us to come on his television show. So he produced a half-hour television show all about Just Like Sugar, which aired on A&E last October. And you can watch that television show on our website by clicking on the picture of William Shatner on the top right-hand corner of the homepage. See, this is where it shows that Just Like Sugar is not only a company that's helping the health of humanity with our healthy products, we're also helping humanity itself with our Save the Amazon Rainforest project, with our good friend Mike Panera, help from Paul McCartney, Elton John, U2, Sting, because the Amazon is being torn down, burnt down, destroyed. 60% of our fresh water and 20% of our oxygen comes from the Amazon. The Amazon basin in Brazil is so big you could actually take the continental United States and fit it inside the Amazon. So if the Amazon goes, so do we. So that's why we are a totally well-rounded company helping the health of humanity and helping the health of our planet.
So this is more than just about making money. You are actively involved in a cause, it seems to me, and my previous conversation particularly, that you're really concerned about the health of the nation, and then you see that this is more of a cause that you want to push towards.
That is correct. That is correct. Like, nothing gives us greater pleasure that when the mother or father calls up and they cannot thank us so much because little Billy is off of sugar, he's using Just Like Sugar, his ADD, his ADHD, his autism is improving, he's getting greater grades in school, he's not acting out, his AC1 levels because he had diabetes are almost normal, he's lost or she's lost 30 or 40 pounds. Nothing gives us greater pleasure than hearing that. Not just from the parents, but from the doctors of these children who call and they say, well, just keep it up. We can't thank you enough for this product and what you're doing to the health of humanity.
Now, what are your projections for next year or year-end revenue? I don't know if you want to share that in details, but is the growth rate, you want to talk a little bit about the growth rate or the numbers?
Well, we expect that when Fiber Up comes out, which we're just waiting for this special cap that we're developing for this product, and the cap holds the powder, like I said, we already have advanced orders for over approximately 600 million bottles of Fiber Up. And it'll retail for approximately $1.75 a bottle. So you can do the math there. That's not just from schools, that's from stores and distributors all over the world.
So sales growth is not a problem for you. You're not looking at that as a problem. In fact, it is a problem perhaps from the other side. How do you operationally catch up to the demand?
Well, we have, that's when we introduce Fiber Up, we have to make sure that we're going to have enough of the caps. The bottles aren't a problem. The labeling of the bottle isn't a problem. We just have to have the caps. We have a very nice company that is working with us, engineering firm, developing this space age cap. It's really unique. You twist it, the powder falls in, and you shake it up. But the beauty about this, everything is biodegradable. It's all made from corn. Corn bottle, corn label, corn cap. You drink it, you take it, you throw it in your garden. It biodegrades and helps your garden grow.
Good.
So,
Excellent.
That's
So besides specific issues, what are your business challenges that you are dealing with right now?
Well, the business challenge is, I would say that our number one business challenge, if we wanted Just Like Sugar to go mainstream, it will have to be only for one reason, and that is the public demanding something safe. I'm not going to mention any names of these other companies, but we have done market research and product building with the major companies that make drinks that are sold all over the world. But basically what it came down to is, yeah, your product's great, product tastes great, everything's fantastic, but we're not going to use it because we're not going to take 12% off our bottom line. We don't care if the people get killed, but but what's going to happen is when it gets to a point where nobody is buying the product with the artificials because more and more of education is happening. I don't know if you heard just recently, Snapple has announced that they got rid of everything bad, and now they have product made with the greatest ingredients, it says, and pure sugar. When we heard that, we immediately rushed them a sample of Just Like Sugar to see what Snapple, because a person with diabetic or on a diet, it can't have Snapple in right now because it's limited, because it's got the sugar. So if they start, it looks like they have the mindset to go ahead and on the foresight to see where the trend is going. Health. More healthy products.
And while sugar is certainly better than the substitutes currently in the market in many ways, in other ways it is not. So sugar is not necessarily, in fact, it is not healthy. The amount of sugar that we need is, as humans, is being supplied by natural foods anyways. The sweetener that we use from sugarcane or any other source is actually, in general, not a good idea.
No, it is not. Sugar will kill you. Okay. You have to.
If faces can make you obese, and if you're diabetic, then it could kill you too.
Right. It causes Alzheimer's. It causes so many things. Liver problems. Like I said, on our website, if you ever have a chance, take a look at 78 reasons not to eat sugar. You'll be absolutely amazed.
Okay, so business challenge, getting back to the question of business challenge, you were talking about that, some of these companies are not adopting, and you see that, people buy sugar or sugar substitutes. That's an area still open for you. But then there are these products that actually use these chemicals or use sugars, which is a huge market compared to end users buying sugar or sugar substitutes. So you got to tap into both those markets. What's your strategy for both those?
Well, it's the same thing, public awareness. Now, getting back to the children, this is what happened. There's a company called the Best Made Cookie Company. They make cookies for the schools. The ones in the commissary or in the cafeteria, the chocolate chip and the oatmeal raisin that come in a little plastic bag. Well, they're made by the Best Made Cookie Company. They were told that if you want to have your cookies in schools, we don't want any artificials. We don't want any sugar alcohols like maltitol, sorbitol, erythritol, etc. We don't want anything but Just Like Sugar. So if you want to sell your cookies to the schools, this is in Eastern United States, it has to have Just Like Sugar. So
really? Which school district was that?
I think they're all in the Eastern United States, like Rhode Island, New Jersey, New York, and they're slowly moving westward.
Okay. So, so you're basically relying on the credibility of the physicians and other such organizations that have already adopted to promote the idea that people should be using this because this is definitely credible. And that's your fundamental strategy right now, right?
Right. And then, like I said, once we introduce Fiber Up, Fiber Up will be introduced on a worldwide scale. And then once the drink comes out, if anybody hasn't heard of Just Like Sugar, they will definitely know Just Like Sugar after Fiber Up is introduced, because it will be a household word, because it is going into every supermarket, every store, everywhere. Everywhere you see the two other most popular soft drinks, you will see Fiber Up in that same store.
And why did you choose to introduce Fiber Up as opposed to Just Like Sugar to the large market?
Because, once again, going back to the doctors and the problem with the children, they needed, and they came to me again, we need a drink that can get rid of all the pop with sugar, all the fruit drinks with sugar, something that the kids can drink, something that they will like, and something that is healthy. That's why I developed Fiber Up.
So this Fiber Up has the Just Like Sugar ingredients plus additional material to entice kids to like it and adopt and move away from the other sugary drinks.
Right. Well, you see, in schools, they're not going to have any more sugary drinks. You're just going to have Just Like Sugar. And then the children are going to get off. We want the children to get off the sugar drinks and the artificial sweetener drinks. Now, imagine if you have a child growing up all through school just drinking something good, like Fiber Up. He's not going to develop a sweet tooth. He's not going to want to drink a sugar drink. And then what's going to happen when he likes this so much, and he says, Mommy, I want Fiber Up. So when the mother goes to the grocery store, she's going to buy little Johnny Fiber Up. And we're going to make something very, very easy for the mothers. We are going to take a special cap, and we are going to just sell a bag of caps where you put it on a 1-gallon water jug, push the button, shake it up, and you got a gallon of Fiber Up. So you can have it all the time. And it's so unique that, like I said, it comes in 12 flavors. But it's water. And it's the most refreshing water you've ever tasted. And after you drink it, you feel so energized. But let's say you're drinking the cherry Fiber Up. You take a drink. You taste the cherry flavor. Beautiful, natural, all-natural cherry flavor for about 5 seconds. And then it disappears like you're drinking the purest, cleanest water there is. It's absolutely amazing.
And your research has confirmed, and therefore that's why the adoption by large stores is taking place. So they have already observed and agreed, and they've pre-ordered your drink.
That is correct. Plus distributors all over the world. Right. It's going to be in a variety pack, but we have it in cases of 24. Of each single flavor, and then case of 24 of 2 of each flavor, in case stores want to have a few of each on the shelf. Okay. And we're going to have several bottling plants bottling this to keep shipping costs down. We're already working with major LTL and truckload suppliers, getting good prices on the shipping for the major stores. But a lot of the bigger stores will come to the warehouse with their own trucks and pick it up, as they do. So right after that, then we'll come out with, now the doctors want a chewing gum, which I'm working on now, because you cannot find hardly any gum in the country that doesn't have the artificials in it. Some of them have all 3 artificials in it. So that was the next thing that Dr. Betty Martini asked me, if I could develop a gum that would have all the attributes of Just Like Sugar, high in fiber, tastes great, and no sugar. So that's the next project in the works.
What's your background? What have you done previously that allowed you to develop this product, launch this company? Not only are you evidently a scientist, but you're also a CEO of a company, so you've got some management background. You've launched a successful company. We would like to hear more about what you've done in the past.
Well, originally, I'm a refrigeration engineer by trade, and then I started a company called air conditioning company, refrigeration, mechanical engineering company in Las Vegas, and we became the largest government contractor.
Have you previously managed companies or launched companies prior to this?
Well, we had the Nevada Energy Management Corporation. We had Meta Air Corporation that worked very heavily with Honeywell Corporation. We had Total Concept International, which was a insurance type company for HVAC, and it's turned into like American Home Shield.
These years of learning, what is your secret? What would you tell other entrepreneurs to think about how to be more successful when they are trying to be successful or trying to launch new companies? What are the 3 key things you would tell them to do?
1, you need to start a company that is going to sell something that either A, people want or people need. Secondly, you have to surround yourself with quality management. And thirdly, thirdly is on the rank and file, the employees. It has always been my philosophy that a company is only as good as the employees that work there. If you don't have good help, how are you going to get anything done? So in all my companies, if you make it that your employees are not wanting for anything, that they get a good wage, and they cannot wait to get up in the morning and get to work. Not like, oh, it's Monday. Do I have to go in? Oh, boy, I can't wait for Monday. Got to get there. You know, we got a big project going on. I'm helping save the world. We got this great company. Those are 3 things, recipe for success. The first one is the most important.
Yes, and sometimes entrepreneurs, actually not sometimes, most of the entrepreneurial ventures that fail tend to make a mistake right there. They think their idea is great. They think this is what they want, and they assume that the market wants it too. And they don't figure out why and how to make it be desirable in the marketplace.
That is correct. Now, getting back to my first rule, I developed Just Like Sugar before I started Just Like Sugar. Okay? Because Betty asked me for a product, so I had to make the product. And once the product was made, and now we said, okay, we have a demand for this product. We have doctors and professionals and people all over the world who are now going to want this product. So let's incorporate a company. What are we going to call it? Well, let's call it the same name as the product. Actually, it was our IT manager who took the product for testing to the University of Las Vegas, Nevada, and had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of university students try it. And they all of this him saying, hey, it tastes just like sugar. So then he said, hey, we should call this Just Like Sugar. That's what we did. So we incorporated Just Like Sugar, and we started, and that was in 2003. And here we are now with a complete product line and more to come. And eventually we will, I'd like to see, which should happen, that there is just like sugar.
Well, Mike, this is wonderful, and I wish you the best, not just because of financial reasons for your company, but I think this is doing a great service to people, not just for health, but also because, hey, it makes people feel good about drinking sweet stuff. And I myself went ahead and bought me a packet from the Whole Foods, and I absolutely love it.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
Moving out of Splenda.
Yes, you don't want to use the artificials.
All right. Thank you so much, Mike.
My pleasure. And look for new and exciting more products to be coming in the future.
I certainly will. Bye-bye.
Okay.